News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pollock, your host for this evening, June 13th, and welcome to Community Viewpoint. Tonight hopefully we'll have two segments. The first segment is with Fred Davies you're sponsored by the Healing Touch Center, and you're a master herbalist, and you're going to be giving a class Thursday the 23rd of June at our local library. We're going to be talking to that's your playbill or poster that you have there. So we have the information up at the library and different places around town here also. So first segment, let's get started on that. And it also says on that poster, it said, hear you at K9 95.1 with Karen on Thursday, June 16th. And that's coming up in a couple of 3 days from 1 to 4 p.m. So if people have their questions of you, that they can ask you on the radio.
Yes,
then.
We're looking forward to them calling in on Thursday.
All right, so Fred does everything natural, and you're going to be talking about natural things at the library. And I brought a couple of natural things that I use at home. My ground cinnamon, we talked about that before the show, and garlic. So I'm doing good?
Absolutely. That garlic is boosting your immune response and also making it so you don't have people too close to you.
Oh, okay. Let's not go there. And you said the cholesterol thing too with?
Yes.
That's important for people my age.
Garlic, a good amount of cayenne will be beneficial there also.
Yeah, I couldn't find it in my cupboard, but the cayenne pepper we're talking about.
Cayenne pepper, I actually have both cayenne pepper in the tincture form and in the capsule form, which is wonderful for several things.
What would I do with that? I wouldn't put that on my tongue, right?
Oh, pop it in the mouth. I don't know if you've got a moment for a story, but my dad has a story with cayenne that might be worth telling.
What's that?
He was in his late 60s and outside working one day and with his neighbor.
Uh-huh.
And he just collapsed. His heart stopped beating. He went down. Luckily, his neighbor had read a good portion of Dr. Christopher's literature and ran in the house, mixed a teaspoonful of cayenne in a glass of hot water, and came back out and poured it in Dad's mouth, which you can do because it stimulates here. He was still cohesive enough to drink it down, and within 15 minutes, the heart attack was stopped and he was back to full operation. So that's in my first aid kit because a
so cool
dropper full of that under the tongue will wake you right up.
And that's also for your kids if they're speaking or swearing at things?
Perfect. Better than soap.
Oh, it's natural, yeah. You don't know what's in soap unless it's natural soap.
And it'll only burn for 10 or 15 minutes, and after that, they'll just have a memory.
All right, so that's not a smart thing to do. Not
a
normal, yeah, okay.
I drink cayenne in water, and it just burns a little bit. It won't hurt you.
Okay. What else do we have up here? What would you like to talk to us about?
Well, during the class, we're actually going to highlight 20 items that can help in the first aid at home. And one of those that's in that 20-item kit, and I'll just show the kit very briefly here, if I can get it in the right view. One of those items...
Is it made out of hemp? Or burlap?
That's a burlap, I believe.
Okay.
I didn't ask the question.
Okay. Yeah.
One of those is a product called Complete Tissue and Bone. And like the cayenne that's in there, it has many, many uses, and it comes in multiple formats. It comes in capsule format and in a ointment format, oil format. You can come to a Healing Touch Center there across from the post office and see multiple formats that And maybe another story would be beneficial here. The one I told you just before we came on, I had cut this thumb, the whole top of it off,
Right.
when I was working on my friend's car, and just the wrench slipped and hit a sharp piece of metal and took all the skin down to the bone. Well, I'm a little bit crazy, I guess. I finished the job. It took another 15 or 20 minutes to tighten up the bolts and finish the job. And when I got home, I washed it off, and I spread this complete tissue and bone ointment liberally onto the wound, and then covered it with gauze. And every couple of hours, I would pull off the gauze without disturbing the healing tissue, and just put more complete tissue and bone onto the gauze. And within 4 days, it was closing back up again and completely healed with no scar and no challenge, because that rebuilds all kinds of tissue. I have many more stories to tell on that one. I've told them in other classes.
Oh, great. And you have a whole set of things for the children, too?
Children, a children's line. I brought just a few of them. This one is Kitty Call, stands for colic. Dr. Christopher formulated a whole line for children so that children would have something gentle and in a liquid form for mom or grandma or grandpa to help out with. And colic, that's a calcium. It's very beneficial for the teething process. Sometimes children will really get a high fever and a lot of pain when they're teething.
Right.
And it's an indication that there's just not enough calcium there to finish popping those teeth through. And with a little bit more calcium in there, right in the mouth, 15, 20 drops, or in juice, then the teething process goes much easier, and they're not crying because there's not a lot of pain there.
Rather than a little bit of a whiskey on the gums. Okay, that's not, yeah.
Probably doesn't give a lot of calcium there on the whiskey, does it? Kitty Track is made for helping them stay on track. A lot of children these days are distractible and attention deficit, if you will, and that just helps them stay on track.
And what does that do, though?
It balances the brain, and so that they can focus on their homework instead of focusing quite so much on the video game.
You got some of that for the adults, too?
Yes, it's called Mind Track. And it comes in capsule format for adults.
Really?
All of these Dr. Christopher products were formulated with balance in mind. They actually balance the systems so that the systems can restore back to normal use. And the final one that I brought, now there's a whole line of these, is Kitty Reg. Now I think we can imagine what reg for regular stands for, and occasionally children will get a little bit plugged up, and that helps them remove the plug, so to speak.
Excellent. So you can be at the library on Thursday, the 23rd of June. That'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. in our meeting room. And you're going to be talking about different things. You say, well, peppermint's always good. You know how peppermint calms your stomach. You should know ginger helps your nausea. Now, when I drink the ginger ale, it tastes, from what I'm told, that's what ginger's supposed to taste like. But you look at the ingredients, there's hardly any.
There's no ginger in it.
No.
I would prefer to take some ginger capsules, or else use the ginger root directly.
So, yeah, when there's,
and amazing anti-nausea, and it will calm gas pains in the stomach also. I've used it effectively for car sickness, plane sickness.
Really?
And ginger is probably the strongest one of those anti-nausea plants.
Excellent. What else you got in your bag?
Oh, there's a lot in here.
This stuff sounds good.
I'll save most of it for highlighting at the class.
You should, go over to Argonne National Laboratories in the Midwest. They were trying to find a formula for air sickness, and they had all these weird things you had to do. Probably if you gave the people this.
This is so simple.
Calm them down, rather than listening to the doctors, the PhDs people going, and beating their heads against the wall, spending millions of dollars trying to find these fantastic diets. And try some ginger root.
It's my my master herbalist degree is through American College of Healthcare Sciences, achs.edu if anyone wanted to look at it. And they taught the scientific study method. In other words, if they taught ginger, they taught all of those scientific studies that were done on ginger. Or cayenne, they taught the scientific studies that had been done on cayenne. And they're quite well studied. I didn't bring it with, but there's one of my textbooks is about that thick. It's a $200 text, and it went through the scientific studies of the different herbs.
No, he's telling us we have 2 minutes yet. I don't think Paula's here yet for a second segment, is she? Jeff? Okay, we'll just keep rolling. Okay, because I'm interested, so I think we might have a 28-minute show.
Okay, well then I'll keep introducing one or two things. They'll get a
please
much
do.
better introduction in the 2-hour class. And I always start my class by learning from the group that's there. So people will
Question
come.
and answer, what's ailing you?
Well,
And what have you been taking?
and people come in and I say, okay, this is about first aid. What have you used in the plant kingdom for first aid? And we'll learn from each other for the first 15 or 20 minutes because everyone has knowledge that they come with. So I'm looking forward to the group there. I must mention before we're out of our first 15-minute segment, this is a free class, but I am asking that people bring 2 cans of non-perishables or 2 boxes of non-perishables because we've recently had one of our food pantries shut in town and we're going to have to make up the difference in the other food pantries. So if you would please, either go to the library and sign up so we know who's coming, or you can call a Healing Touch Center during business hours at 751-0552 and have your name on the list, and then please do bring some food for our food pantries because we're shutting down one of them and we do need to care for those that need.
And let me explain, if you're taking things over to the food pantry, don't take it from my house. I've been clearing out my cupboard and there's things there they expired in 2005. Please look at the expiration date. I've had people clean out my refrigerator. I found a Philadelphia cream cheese. It's still in the container, so I don't know what's inside of there, but it's like 4 years old. 2009, 10, 11, no, only 3 years old, but I must have bought it in 2008, but it was still sitting there in one of these small trays.
Might be worth cleaning out the refrigerator a little bit more often
But
than
I
every
had
4
people
years.
do that, but it's a hidden tray that
Yes.
put like plates on. So please don't bring things that are way outdated, or the tomato paste or whatever. If it's bulging, and if it taps back at you, don't bring it to there.
I'm sure they have to sort through that stuff
They
every
do,
day.
because when we have food drives at the library, either the people that I have there for community service or myself, we look through the outdated stuff because we don't want anybody to get sick from the food that we send to them as a second party. So that just reminded me when I had my house that I.
Yeah. And you
That's right.
mentioned earlier that a Healing Touch Center, 3 of us will actually be on KNYE with Karen this Thursday from 1 till 4. And if they'd like to call in with any questions, especially those who can't afford the health care, I would love to answer questions of things that they can do at home to take care of specific needs. I don't want to say, please don't go to your doctor. Please do go to your doctor. But if you have a specific need that you're searching for an answer for, your diet, nutrition, or something real simple like taking a little ginger or cayenne or something like that may solve a very specific today, right now need.
Yeah, with that in mind, I had a doctor for a while. I still had health care in Las Vegas. His name was Dr. Von Tobel, one of the oldest names in Las Vegas. But when he would prescribe something for me, he says, I'd like you to take this or that. And if he'd see me making a poopy face or something, he says, go to a natural food store and try to get something. He gave me the alternative also.
Oh, wow.
So he was
Very knowledgeable.
He was good. Yeah, he was great. He would just kick back and he knew what he was doing, and he wasn't pushing the drugs on you. So if there was an alternative, and he saw that I had an issue with it. He says, "Yeah, try this, see if that works." So, I have all the respect for a doctor like that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it's Von Tobel. So anyway, you've got that little bag too. You're going to be showing the people what's in your little bag of tricks also?
I'll open up a little bit more. I'm going to put that in front so that it's viewable by the camera. I'll open up a little bit more at the class so that more of those things, of the 20 items in the bag, are there. And it just happens that Dr. Christopher's products at the shop are discounted all the month of June because the entire product line is being shipped to me discounted, and I'm passing on the discount plus some. So this bag of first aid care with 20 items in it is going to be sold for half the cost of those items if you paid for them one at a time, just for this month, because they're being discounted and I'm passing on more than that discount to everyone else.
So this is at the Healing Touch Center, which is almost directly across the street from the post office.
Yes.
And I have to really commend them for a good location. It's one of the better locations in town. So hopefully they get a lot of walk-ins from across the street from the post office.
I'll have to mention a few of the other product lines that they carry there too. If you're more into oils than herbs, the Complete Young Living oil line is there. And Kristen, which you'll find up front, is very knowledgeable of it. And Patty, we call her the oil lady, is teaching oil classes every single week also. So there's really some options there in oils. If you love cooking, there's the some special
What did I have there?
chef. Okay,
Pampered?
Pampered Chef, thank you. It
I
took two
remember.
of us to remember the whole name. That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, I don't have any of that at home, but I remember them seeing it there. They told me about it also.
Yeah, and if you love your skin, the Complete New Skin line is there also. So 2 massage therapists and lots of things for you to pamper yourself and take care of your own health.
It's one of the healthiest stores in town. So yeah, that's right across the street from the post office. Any more tips on what we should be putting in our bodies? I spent a lot of time in Tacoma. A lot of my friends out there are into the natural things out there. So you would be just welcomed with both arms. They'd love you out there. I don't know if you've had it out there or not.
I've been out there just once.
But don't go out there till it cools off now.
And I'm actually meeting a lot of people here in town who are interested in natural. I will mention that just like Kitty Reg for children, we've got an adult line for the lower bowel.
Oh,
And it just happens, and this is a sensitive topic for such a short program, but it just happens that 90% of our diseases start in a clogged bowel. So might be a good idea to keep that moving, and there's the product to keep it moving. I teach about it just about every class because we have to start by being clean.
Run that by me again. 90%?
90% of the diseases that we have start in a clogged lower bowel. Well, think about it. If you have a clogged septic system with things growing in it and it's not clean, then you're going to have all kinds of fungus and mold and things growing inside of that system.
And that's why some people tend to be vegetarians rather than eating meat, because the meat
Slows down
yeah.
the
Okay.
cleansing process, yes.
You hear that, Jeff? Okay. So hopefully you won't be clogged, okay? But yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, and that's 90%.
90%. I read that just a few days ago in this book by Dr. Christopher, Herbal Home Healthcare. And he teaches his son now that's running the continued teaching at School of Natural Healing, teaches to always start with cleansing out the inside before anything else is going to work properly. So I have to agree with him.
Interesting. I'm digesting that right now. There's people that do sometimes strange things too to clean themselves out constantly too. They go maybe overboard too.
Yeah, be very gentle. This is very gentle. Start with a capsule at night and just keep upping it until
Yeah,
everything's moving properly.
don't really mess around with the plumbing too much. Do
No.
something naturally.
Start gentle and natural, absolutely. Stop the gas with ginger, move the plumbing with lower bowel.
But that really interests me. That's the ginger right there.
Yes.
Although the other ginger ale does have a tendency to soothe you, just like
Yes.
lemon lime, or like I grew up with either ginger ale to soothe myself or 7-Up. So that does have a soothing effect.
And especially with the simpler products. I haven't tried it, but now that you mention it, I'm going to just drop a little ginger in a bit of water and shake it up and see if it doesn't taste a little bit like ginger ale. And I'm sure it'll be calming and soothing to the stomach.
Chamomile?
Chamomile, yeah.
Yes, that's another thing with the teas. Do you have any teas over at the shop over there?
I don't. Well, actually, there are a few. There's a nice, beautiful tea set, and there's just a few teas there. We do have full product of tea lines in town here,
Right.
at Smith's and Albertsons and so forth. So, and I recommend absolutely working with the herbal teas, as you mentioned, chamomile, to just calm down and relax at night. And a little bit of extra calcium in a calcium tea. Which one was the calcium? For children who can't calm down at night, it may be just that they're low on calcium. And calcium, even for adults, jumpy legs or not being able to calm down at night, a little bit of extra calcium, and we carry a nice natural calcium product there for a calcium tea that I drink every day. I actually drink a calcium tea every day that provides the calcium needs of the body.
Well, that and not having things with caffeine in it. Don't be drinking that just before you go to bed.
Yes, and the other piece of caffeinated colas, I read a study some years back, caffeinated colas increase the calcium loss of the body by 1,600%.
That much?
Yes. One 12-ounce can of soda, caffeinated soda, increases it by 1,600%, increases the calcium and other minerals in the urine, whereas a non-caffeinated cola still increases that calcium loss by 400%, by 4 times. So it may be worth drinking water, calcium tea, or another herbal tea to calm down in the evening, and replacing those stronger colas and so forth in your diet if you want to maintain calcium.
Well, I've kind of sworn off, for the most part, carbonated beverages as much as I can.
Yes.
I lost a kidney to cancer a few years ago, so doctor says, urologist says citrus. So if it's limeade is cheaper. I usually get that. Lime, lemons, cranberry juice. I just find the best deals on that. So
have you tried just plain water with a good squeeze of lemon or lime in it?
Not as much as I should, and that'd be a little cheaper. Yes, yeah.
Well, and it doesn't have any carbonation in it, obviously,
Right.
so it won't cause kidney stones.
But what I do with the cranberry juice, I'll cut it almost in half, and it's still relatively strong. So
I will mention to our viewers that cranberry juice, if you're going to drink it, find the non-sugared cranberry juice,
Oh my God,
100%
yeah.
natural.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, you're putting sugar in, and sugar leaches calcium out just about as fast as carbonation does.
So he gave us the 2-minute warning again. Just,
we are,
another
again.
50 minutes went by. So, Fred, you'll be at our library on the Thursday, the 23rd of June, from 1 to 3 p.m. You were there, you said, last year, too?
Last year I
Yeah,
taught
I have a
it.
vague recollection of that, too, yes, in our meeting room. And then don't forget, he'll be on K9 95.1 with Karen, and Your Opinion Counts, on Thursday, June 16th, from 1 to 4 p.m.
If you would please RSVP and bring 2 cans, so I know how many people to count on, and so we know how many chairs to set up.
We can hold 80 people in our meeting room, so that'd be cool.
There's room for 40 to sign right now in the library, and as many as want to can call a Healing Touch Center or stop in and visit and put your name on 751-0552, or go in right across from the post office and take a look around.
Okay, great. And once again, thank you, Fred. And hopefully you got something out of this. I got a lot of stuff out of it, a lot of information, reinforced a lot of things that I do, and answered a lot of more questions that I was afraid to ask, maybe. But we'll see you again next week. Remember the town board meeting tomorrow night on Tuesday. That should be a nice rowdy one again. Maybe we'll see if it works till we're still there till midnight. But thank you, Fred. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
And you remember what's the name of the line? It's Christopher's original
Dr.
formula?
Christopher's original formulas.
Okay.
We carry the line in the shop.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you all.